Good afternoon. In continuation of May being Membership Month, I am Nikki Soda, the Membership Development Officer for NAATP. I am excited to have today Ashley Neal, who is the Public Relations and Media Strategist for Turning Point of Tampa. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk with us today. Why don't you
Absolutely.
start by telling us a little bit about Turning Point of Tampa?
Okay, great. So Turning Point of Tampa is a residential program for substance use disorder as well as eating disorders and has been in the Tampa area since 1987. We are an in-network provider, and our CEO, Robin Piper, is actually on the board of NAATP.
Wonderful, and Robin is an excellent addition to our board this year. Ashley, can you tell me what was your first exposure to the association?
Actually, it was a couple years ago when my friend Tyson Stark, he now is the co-founder of Ardmore, which is in Savannah, Georgia. But at the time, he was working at Cumberland Heights, and his CEO at Cumberland Heights was on the board of NAATP. And he told me about it on a trip that I had made up to Nashville, and it really piqued my interest since then. And right after that time, our CEO, Robin Piper, became very interested in joining as well.
Great. And what do you value most of being an NAATP member?
I think the advocacy is the most important thing to me. There are so many addiction treatment centers, and I think that the message from us gets a little muddled sometimes. So NAATP being able to be the mouthpiece for us and speak to the people who are making decisions at the Washington, D.C. level is probably the most important thing to me.
Great. And Ashley, I know at a state level you are very active in advocacy. How does NAATP support any of your efforts, or have they had a positive impact on anything that you've done within the last year?
Yes, so I think in that same vein, with there being so many addiction treatment providers, especially in Florida, there are a lot of different messages that come out, and I think that NAATP is able to put them all together and kind of be the voice that I listen to always, first and foremost, whenever I'm looking for, if I hear something that's come out and I want to know if it's true, or I want to know what's going on in Tallahassee on the state level with addiction treatment, anything that's coming down the pipeline from Washington, D.C. about federal funding, or just any conversations that are being had on that level, I can always count on NAATP to provide me with that information.
Great. And you are a wonderful advocate for not only the community, but for the state to have out as a voice of recovery. So thank you for all that you do for that. Actually, yeah. What would you say to someone who is interested in becoming an NAATP member?
I would say just do it. Actually, I thought about this the other day, because when we were doing the membership roundtables, I had invited a couple smaller programs that I know have been around for a while but don't really have any communication or conversation with some other larger treatment providers, and I invited them to come to the membership roundtable in Orlando. I think that really is the best way for people to learn more and get to meet other people that represent treatment providers that maybe have been NAATP members for a while, so they can really share their experience and what they get out of NAATP. So anything that you can do that's going to expose you to a lot of members at one time and get some conversation started about what the benefits are of NAATP is good, in my opinion.
Great. Well, and Ashley, we have a membership committee, which we are honored to have you a part of. And I wanted to talk just very briefly about becoming involved and how you took the initiative to say, hey, is there a way that I can become more involved? Can you talk a little bit about what your interest for that was? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, I've done a little bit of work, I guess I could say in previous lifetimes before I got into the addiction treatment industry, of really being more of like an information specialist. And I really try very hard to know what other resources are available and really think about the resources that are available and how we can put all those resources together for one common goal. And there are several, how do I want to say this? There are several different groups that don't necessarily fit into the membership categories that are available now. So I really have an interest in bringing all of the, for lack of a better term, players, you know, that provide support services or whatever in addiction treatment and recovery together so that we can continue to be that one voice, especially from the NAATP standpoint, so that there's not a lot of mixed messaging.
Great. I think that's an excellent answer. And again, we're very appreciative of all the support that not only you and Robin do, Ashley, but Turning Point of Tampa. And as truly one of the premier facilities in Florida, we are lucky to have you here. So I want to thank you so much for your time and for continuing to be that positive voice.
Thanks, Nikki. Glad to do it.